Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to use a Kahoot. So the first thing, a Kahoot is basically a way to quiz your students online, and I use it to quiz my students for vocabulary and comprehension. So the first thing you do, you can go on Google and say create Kahoot, and it should be the first one. And then you would say, get my free account. It's free, so it's great. It's a great teaching tool. I'm a teacher. I typed in University of San Diego, and then I did all this. I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. Okay, so typically I make a quiz, but you can do a jumble or a survey or a discussion, they're all great uses of this Kahoot, but for now I'm just going to kind of show you how to use the quiz part of it. So my title, we're reading the book Number the Stars. So I might say vocabulary for Number the Stars, and I might label it number 2, just because I already have one. You have to do hashtags just so it can be located quickly. So I would do like vocab, hashtag literacy, and maybe hashtag 4th grade, because that is the people I'm quizzing. So I make it visible to everyone so that my students can have access to it. I also make it in English because that is what my students speak, but you can make it any language, depending on your students. And then I click school, and then I am ready to go. So I say, okay, go. And I'm going to add my first question. So I already have a vocabulary sheet ready to go. So I'm just going to copy and paste this, command copy, and I'm just going to paste it right into my question. So I put the definition there, and then I would say like impression, or what was the word? It was imprinted. Sorry. I would say imprinted, and then I would say, use another one of my words, which is distorted, and spell it right, obviously. Maybe synagogue, again, spell it right. And another one would be sabotage. Great speller. Sabotage. So if I just click, I would click on this check mark right here, because to impress or stamp a marker outline on the surface of a body, that answer is imprinted. So I would click this little button right here to show that answer 1 is correct. And then I say award points just because I feel like students earned more points if they're going faster, or if they know the content better. So I feel like they earned those extra points. Then I add another question. I'll do sabotage, and I will paste it into my next question. And then I'll maybe do like relocation, which was a word from last time. I have to do sabotage. Oops. And then maybe I'll look at this one and see distorted. And I can do imprinted for this one as well. Okay, so then if I don't click anything and click next, it won't let me pass. So I have to click that sabotage is it. And then I can click next. Oh, and my question's too long. So I have to reconstruct my question a little bit. Which is fine. Deliberately destroy or damage, especially for political or military advantage. That still makes sense. So I can click next, and then I would add my questions until I was done. I'm just going to save this and go to a Kahoot that I've already made, so that we can look at this quickly. Okay, so here are all my questions. I do vocab and comprehension questions. I did 8 and 20 seconds each. So why don't we preview this and see how it turned out. So the screen on the right is what the students see, and the screen on the left is what would be on the board or on your, on the board. So I do classic mode, and there's all these game options, and you can kind of pick through. I allow an answer streak bonus and all these extra things. I like randomizing the order of my questions and answers just because I can just copy and paste them without worrying about which answer I'm putting them in. So I'm going to go ahead and click Classic. The reason I don't really care about points is because I allow my students to choose whatever name they would like. So I'm going to click Start, and then I'll type in this code. I actually have it. So my students will type in this code. This whole thing will be on the board. It'll be nice and big, and I have them press Enter. And it says nickname. So I let them do kind of whatever they want just because it's kind of a self-assessment, and I just want to see where my class is in general with the vocab. So most of my students have been picking Lilo and Stitch. So we'll do that one. And we'll click OK, go. And I can exit out any name that I don't want to be in there. So just for teachers that want to make sure students aren't taking advantage of that nickname slot. So once the students are all in there, it'll tell you right here how many players you have. I usually have anywhere from 19 to 23, and I will click Start. So again, the students don't really see the question on their device. The question is on the board. So I like to read it out loud. Who did Ellen pretend to be when the soldiers searched the Johansons' house? I know that the answer is that she pretended to be Lisa, Anne Marie's sister that passed away. So I would look for the red triangle on my screen. Okay, look, there it is. And I click on it, and I would get a certain amount of points for how fast I answered. This whole thing on the left shows how many students got it right and how many students got it wrong. And it just kind of gives you a little informal assessment on where your class is at. So let's do one more. The action of moving to a new place or establishing one's home or business there. So I know that one's relocation, so I'm going to be quick and look at the orange circle and click on it. And I got a lot more points for that because I was a lot faster. So that is basically Kahoot. It's a really, really fun way for your students to get involved in vocabulary. I've never seen my students quite so excited about comprehension questions and vocabulary. So I hope it helps your class as well. Thank you.